Okay, so you know that that really famous cold case, The Boy in the Box.
Oh, yeah.
That unidentified child found in Philadelphia
Right.
back in 1957.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to take a deep dive into how this mystery was finally solved after
Right.
65 years.
Oh,
We're going to be using the Wikipedia article about Joseph Augustus Zarelli that you sent in,
okay.
who was the boy
Gotcha.
who was finally given back his name.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable how this case,
Yeah.
was cold for so long.
Yeah.
Shows the power of DNA technology.
Really is.
What's also fascinating is how it really captured the public imagination for decades and sparked all these theories.
Absolutely. It's a story of hope
Yeah.
and a testament to the idea that even the most enduring mysteries can be solved.
I love that.
And it all began on February 25th, 1957,
Okay.
in Fox Chase, Philadelphia.
Mm.
A young man was checking his rabbit traps in the woods
Oop.
off Susquehanna Road and stumbled upon this horrifying sight,
Oh, no.
a cardboard box
Oh, gosh.
containing the body of a young boy.
That's awful.
Hmm.
It's interesting how societal norms at the time
Yeah,
really influenced this initial discovery.
right.
Imagine finding something so disturbing,
I know.
but then hesitating to call the police.
Right?
The young man was afraid of getting in trouble
Wow.
for his rabbit traps.
Oh my gosh.
And then days later, a college student also found the body
Really?
while looking for a rabbit,
Oh, wow.
but was similarly hesitant.
It makes you wonder if those lost days were crucial for the investigation.
Yeah.
Did they inadvertently compromise valuable evidence?
It's impossible to say for sure.
Yay.
But the delay definitely complicated matters.
Yeah.
When the police finally arrived at the scene, they found a heartbreaking sight. This little boy around 4 years old, naked, malnourished, showing signs of severe physical abuse.
Oh my gosh.
There were even clumps of his hair clinging to his body,
Wow.
suggesting it had been recently cut, possibly after death.
And then there's the box itself. A chilling juxtaposition.
Yeah.
This bassinet box from JCPenney,
Okay.
an ordinary object meant to cradle a newborn, now forever linked to this awful tragedy.
It's true. That contrast is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It highlights the vulnerability of childhood
Yeah.
and the cruelty that was inflicted upon this boy.
Of course.
And the details about his body,
Yeah.
like the surgical scars on his ankle, his groin and chin,
Gosh.
only add to the enigma.
Right.
What kind of life did he lead that required those procedures?
It's a really good question. The Philadelphia police
Right.
launched this massive investigation.
Yeah.
They were driven by the need for answers
Of course.
and fueled by the media attention.
Right?
They distributed 400,000 flyers
Wow.
with the boy's image, even including them with gas bills.
They were desperate for a lead,
Yeah.
despite the overwhelming public interest.
Right.
The boy's identity remained elusive.
It's crazy.
The crime scene searches,
Yeah.
even with 270 police academy recruits,
Oh,
meticulously combing through the area,
jeez.
only yielded a few items.
Like what?
A man's blue corduroy cap, a child's scarf,
Okay.
a man's white handkerchief with the letter G,
Okay.
but nothing that directly led to the boy's identity.
It's almost as if they were so close,
Yeah.
but the crucial piece was missing.
Yeah.
And as time passed,
Right.
all these theories emerged,
Yeah.
reflecting the anxieties of that era,
Right.
the Cold War paranoia,
Mm-hmm.
the interest in psychic phenomena.
One of the most compelling
Yeah.
and controversial theories
Yeah.
involved a nearby foster home.
Oh, really?
Remington Bristow,
Okay.
an investigator who was deeply invested in the case,
Yeah.
consulted a psychic
What?
who pointed him towards this specific foster home.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
Using psychic abilities to solve a crime.
It certainly caught the public's imagination.
Wow.
The police thoroughly investigated the foster family,
Yeah.
finding similarities between the box and blankets at the home,
Really?
but they were ultimately ruled out.
So close. Yeah.
This highlights the limitations of psychic investigations.
Yeah.
While they can sometimes generate leads,
Right.
they often lack the scientific rigor needed for a conclusive investigation.
So it was a dead end.
Yeah.
Despite seeming promising initially.
Right.
Then there was Martha,
Oh, yeah.
who emerged in 2002,
Uh,
claiming her mother had purchased and then murdered the boy.
her story was chilling,
I bet.
but her account was considered unreliable
Okay.
due to a history of mental illness.
Right.
It's a reminder that in these high-profile cases,
Yeah.
investigators must carefully evaluate sources and motivations.
Right.
Sometimes the desire for attention or notoriety
Yeah.
can cloud the truth.
It must be incredibly challenging
It
to
is.
sift through genuine leads while also navigating those seeking attention.
Yeah.
Then there was the renowned forensic artist, Frank Bender,
Right.
who presented a unique perspective. Based on the boy's hairstyle and eyebrows,
Okay.
he theorized that the boy might have been raised as a girl and even released a sketch with long hair
Wow.
to test his hypothesis.
Bender's theory, while ultimately unfounded,
Right.
serves as a reminder that investigators need to be willing to challenge assumptions.
Yeah,
The most obvious answer isn't always the correct one,
of course.
and exploring alternative possibilities, however unconventional,
Yeah.
can sometimes lead to breakthroughs.
And the theories just kept coming.
Yeah.
There was even a potential connection in Memphis, Tennessee
What?
in 2013.
That lead, fueled by the work of 2 dedicated writers.
Oh, wow.
Initially seemed promising,
Yeah.
but DNA testing ultimately ruled it out.
Oh, bummer.
Despite these setbacks,
Yeah.
the case never truly went cold.
Okay.
There was a glimmer of hope that emerged in 1998
Okay.
when they first exhumed the boy's body,
Oh, wow.
hoping to leverage advancements in DNA technology.
That was a pivotal moment, right?
It was.
They extracted DNA from a tooth,
Yeah,
marking a significant step forward.
huge step.
Yeah.
But it took time for genetic genealogy
Right.
to develop as a viable investigative tool.
Of course.
It wasn't until 2016,
Okay.
with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children
Mm-hmm.
releasing a new forensic facial reconstruction of the boy,
Yeah.
combined with the existing DNA profile,
Right.
that the case saw renewed momentum.
Shows the power of collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Law enforcement, forensic artists, and scientists coming together,
Yeah,
each contributing their expertise to keep this case alive.
exactly. They exhumed the body again in 2019
Wow.
for more DNA samples.
Okay.
And this time, fortune smiled upon them.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Right.
Tell me more.
A distant cousin of the boy
Okay.
had uploaded their DNA to a public database.
Oh, wow.
It was a seemingly unrelated action
Yeah.
with monumental consequences,
Wow.
providing the missing link that investigators have been searching for.
Incredible. And finally, in November of 2022,
Right.
the Philadelphia Police Department made the long-awaited announcement.
Yes.
The boy in the box had been identified.
I bet there was relief and excitement
Oh, yeah.
that rippled through everyone who had followed this case for so long.
Absolutely. It must have been an incredibly powerful moment.
For sure.
And what a testament to the human need for closure,
Yep.
for resolution. After all those years,
Yeah.
America's unknown child finally had a name,
Wow.
Joseph Augustus Zarelli.
That's powerful. It must have been a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
For everyone involved, a mixture of relief,
Right.
sadness, and a renewed determination to finally bring justice for Joseph.
Absolutely. But identifying him was just the beginning of a new chapter
Yeah.
in this story, one that we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
Stay with us. Welcome back. It's incredible to think that we now know the name of America's unknown child,
It is wild.
Joseph Augustus Zarelli. But knowing his name just leads to more questions.
So many.
Like, who are the people responsible for his suffering?
Right.
What happened to him in those 4 short years?
That's the heart of this ongoing homicide investigation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's about seeking justice for Joseph,
Yeah.
but also understanding the circumstances
Right.
that led to his tragic death.
Yeah.
Investigators believe he was likely living
Okay.
near 61st and Market Streets in Philadelphia
Okay.
before his body was found.
But finding witnesses after all these years
I know.
must be a monumental challenge.
It is.
Memories fade.
Yeah,
People move on with their lives.
of course.
Wouldn't it be like searching for a needle in a haystack?
It's certainly a daunting task, but not impossible.
Okay.
Captain Jason Smith,
Okay.
who heads the Philadelphia Police Homicide Unit,
Yeah.
has issued a public plea,
Okay.
hoping that someone might remember something,
Right.
however small or insignificant it may seem.
Right.
Perhaps a neighbor?
Yeah.
A shopkeeper? Someone who crossed paths with Joseph?
Right.
Any detail could be crucial.
It's remarkable how the smallest detail
I know, right?
can sometimes break open a case.
Absolutely.
And perhaps now, with Joseph's name and face out there,
Yeah.
people who were once reluctant to come forward
Right.
might find the courage to share what they know.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The power of a name,
Right.
of a human face, can be incredibly impactful.
For sure.
In January 2023, investigators revealed the names of Joseph's parents,
Oh, wow.
Augustus John Zarelli, known as Gus,
Okay.
and Mary Elizabeth Plunkett, known as Betsy.
Wow.
They also confirmed that he had living half-siblings.
It's both intriguing and heartbreaking to learn that Joseph had a family he never knew
Yeah.
and who never knew him.
Right.
Have his siblings been able to offer any insights into his short life?
That's a sensitive area that investigators are navigating carefully.
Yeah.
They want to respect the family's privacy,
Right.
while also exploring any information that could help the investigation.
Right.
It's a delicate balance.
It's difficult to imagine the emotional toll
I know.
this must be taking on his siblings.
Yeah.
They are not only grieving the loss of a brother they never knew,
Right.
but also grappling with the horrific circumstances of his death.
It's a complex situation
Yeah.
full of emotional layers.
Right.
And while we can't speak for them,
Right.
it's likely they're experiencing a range of emotions.
Yeah.
Shock, grief, anger, perhaps even guilt.
And the fact that Joseph lived for approximately 4 years before his death,
Right.
it begs the question,
Yeah.
how could his suffering have gone unnoticed for so long?
Right.
Someone must have known this child seen something.
That's the unsettling reality of child abuse cases.
Yeah.
They often happen behind closed doors,
Right.
hidden from public view.
Yeah.
Investigators are hoping that now, with Joseph's identity revealed,
Yeah.
those who may have been afraid to speak up before will come forward.
Perhaps they feared retaliation
Possibly.
or didn't want to get involved.
Mm.
But now knowing that Joseph's story has resonated with so many,
Yeah.
perhaps they will feel empowered to share what they know.
Hopefully.
It's a long shot, but hope remains.
What's fascinating about this case is how the community rallied around Joseph,
Really?
even before he had a name.
Wow.
They visited his grave,
Oh, wow.
leaving flowers and toys,
Oh,
ensuring he was never truly forgotten.
that's amazing.
They called him America's unknown child,
Yeah.
and in doing so gave him a sense of identity and belonging.
It speaks volumes about human compassion, doesn't it?
It really does.
Even in the face of such a tragedy,
Yeah,
people sought to offer comfort and dignity
right.
to this nameless child.
Absolutely. And that compassion has only intensified now that we know his name.
Of course.
People from all over the country
Yeah.
have expressed their condolences, shared stories of loss,
Wow.
and offered support for the ongoing investigation.
That's incredible.
Joseph's story has touched a nerve,
Yeah.
reminding us of the fragility of life
Right.
and the vulnerability of children.
It forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth.
Yeah,
Child abuse can happen anywhere, to anyone,
it can.
and we need to be more vigilant.
Absolutely.
We must be aware of the signs,
Yes.
be willing to speak up, and
Yeah.
create a culture
Yeah,
where reporting suspected abuse is not only accepted,
right.
but encouraged.
You're right. It's about shifting the mindset
Yeah.
from it's not my business to it's everyone's responsibility.
Absolutely.
Joseph's case is a stark reminder
Yeah.
that silence can have devastating consequences.
Absolutely.
So we know his name, we
Right.
know who his parents were,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that he had siblings who were unaware of his existence.
Yeah.
But what about Joseph himself?
Right.
What can we glean about the boy behind the mystery,
Yeah.
the child who was robbed of his future?
We can piece together a fragmented picture
Okay.
from the limited clues we have.
We know he was small for his age,
Okay.
just 3 feet 6 inches tall,
Oh, wow.
and severely malnourished.
Jeez.
This indicates his basic needs weren't being met,
Right.
suggesting a level of neglect
Yeah.
that is deeply disturbing.
It's heartbreaking to think of a child suffering like that.
I know.
And the scars on his body, some surgical, some not,
Right.
paint a picture of a life filled with pain
Yeah.
and possibly medical intervention.
And yet, there are hints of care interspersed with the neglect.
Really?
His hair was neatly cut, his fingernails trimmed,
Okay.
as if someone was attempting to maintain a facade of normalcy
Wow.
to mask the horrific reality of his situation.
It's a chilling thought.
It is.
The attempt to erase the evidence of his suffering.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of complexity to this
Okay.
already heartbreaking case.
We may never know the full extent of what Joseph endured,
Yeah.
but his story compels us to examine our own communities,
Yes.
to be more aware of the signs of child abuse,
Right.
and to act when we see something amiss.
We've talked about the investigation, the
Mhm.
theories, and the search for answers.
Yeah,
But ultimately, Joseph's legacy should be about prevention.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
His story must serve as a catalyst for change.
He may have been denied a life filled with love and happiness,
Yeah.
but he was not forgotten.
No.
His story has touched countless lives
It has.
and sparked a national conversation
Yeah.
about child protection
Right.
and the importance of speaking up
Yes.
for those who cannot speak for themselves.
And now, thanks to the tireless work of investigators
Right.
and the advancements in DNA technology,
Yes,
he has his name back.
he does.
He is no longer a nameless victim.
Right.
He is Joseph Augustus Zarelli.
Wow.
His case is a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of community,
Yeah.
and the enduring hope that even in the darkest of times,
Wow.
justice can prevail.
So what happens next? Where does the investigation go from here?
Yeah.
And what lasting impact will Joseph's story have on our society?
Big corrections.
We'll explore those questions and more
Right.
in the final part of our deep dive.
All right.
Stay with us. We've learned so much about the mystery surrounding Joseph Augustus Zarelli.
We have.
From the initial discovery to the
Right.
twists and turns of the investigation and finally to his identification.
Right.
After all these years,
It's a case that raises so many questions.
it does.
Even as it provides some answers, makes you think about the fragility of life.
Yeah.
Especially for children who rely on adults
Right.
for protection and care.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Right.
What does Joseph's story mean for us today? What can we learn from this tragedy that might help prevent similar situations in the future?
I think one of the most important takeaways
Yeah.
is the power of DNA technology, especially in the field of genetic genealogy.
Absolutely.
It was a distant cousin's DNA
Right.
uploaded to a public database
Yeah.
for personal ancestry research.
Right.
That ultimately led to Joseph's identification.
It's incredible how a seemingly unrelated action
It is.
can have such a profound impact.
Right.
Someone decides to explore their family history,
Yeah.
and that simple act helps solve a decades-old cold case.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of our world
Yeah,
and the potential of these databases to unlock mysteries
for sure.
that traditional investigative methods couldn't crack.
Of course.
The more people who participate,
Yeah.
the greater the chances of finding those crucial links
Right.
that bring closure to families and hold perpetrators accountable.
It's a testament to the power of collaboration, too.
It is.
Law enforcement scientists and genealogists working together,
Yeah.
combining their expertise to bring justice for Joseph.
I agree.
But his story also raises uncomfortable questions
All right.
about our responsibility as a society
Yeah.
to protect vulnerable children.
It's a crucial point.
It is.
Joseph lived in a community.
Right,
He must have interacted with people,
right.
but his suffering went undetected.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what signs might we be missing?
Mm-hmm.
How can we as a society become more attuned
Right.
to the subtle indicators of child abuse and neglect?
It's easy to say, if I had seen something, I would have said something.
Yeah.
But the reality is that recognizing abuse is not always straightforward.
Of course.
There's a fear of overstepping boundaries,
Yeah.
of making a mistake.
I think it's about creating a culture
Yeah.
where reporting suspected abuse isn't viewed as interfering,
Right.
but as a collective responsibility.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to be more vigilant,
Right.
more aware of the signs,
Yeah.
and more willing to speak up
Right.
for those who can't speak for themselves.
It's a conversation we need to have more openly
Yeah.
to educate ourselves and our communities about the warning signs and the resources available for
Right.
intervention and support.
What's often overlooked is the misconception that child abuse only occurs in certain socioeconomic groups.
Right.
It's a societal issue
Yeah,
that transcends boundaries.
for sure.
We need to be more aware, more proactive,
Yeah.
and more willing to challenge the notion that it's someone else's problem to solve.
Joseph's case shattered that misconception.
It did.
It brought the uncomfortable reality of child abuse to the forefront,
Right.
reminding us that it can happen anywhere to anyone.
Absolutely.
And it highlighted the importance of creating a culture of prevention,
Yes.
a culture where children feel safe, supported, and empowered to speak up if something is wrong.
We can support organizations dedicated to protecting children,
Yeah.
advocate for stronger laws and policies,
Right.
and most importantly, talk to our children
Yes.
about body safety, healthy relationships,
Yeah.
and the importance of trusting their instincts.
It's about teaching them to be their own advocates.
Yeah.
And ensuring they know they'll be heard and believed
Right.
if they disclose abuse.
Joseph's story is ultimately a tragedy,
Yeah.
but it's also a powerful call to action.
It is.
We can't change the past,
Right.
but we can work together to create a future
Yes.
where every child is safe, loved, and cherished.
And perhaps that is the most enduring legacy of Joseph Augustus Zarelli.
I think so.
His story, once shrouded in mystery,
Yeah.
has become a beacon,
Mm-hmm.
illuminating the need for greater awareness, compassion, and action
Absolutely.
to protect the most vulnerable members of our society.
I agree.
He may have been denied a voice in his own life,
He was.
but his story has amplified the voices of countless others.
It's a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, there is hope, there's resilience,
Yeah.
and there is a collective responsibility to ensure that no child's story ends the way Joseph's did.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive
Of course.
into one of America's most enduring mysteries.
Yeah.
We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
And most importantly, we hope it inspires you to be an advocate for children,
Absolutely.
to be a voice for the voiceless,
Yes.
and to help create a world where every child's story is one of hope, love, and happy endings.
Thanks for listening.